Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. You are here on the home of the slightly above average ship review. I'm your host KPZ. Today we're in a match on Sea of Fortune. It is a domination match. And this is not a tech tree spotlight. This is a special request by one of my viewers who watched last Friday's video called the French Cloaking Device in Barask, and he asked me if I had used this build on the Gepard, and I had not. So this is a match in the Gepard. Actually, it'll be a match and part of another match in the Gepard. And after these two matches, I can tell you that I really came to a definitive conclusion about the viability of the cloaking device build on the upper tier ships. Now, granted, that excludes the Kleber. I think regardless of whichever way you view the outcome of this video, the Kleber is a viable ship for the cloaking device build. And in that same vein, just as the Kleber is a viable ship, I don't think you should use it, not the build with a Bueno, at least on Le Terrible, because Le Terrible has a really good main battery reload time of just 5 seconds. And so I don't think you need to use the cloaking device build on Le Terrible as much as you do on some of the other ships. While we're talking about French premiums, I also don't think you need to use it on the Eagle, because the Eagle has a smoke screen. In fact, I would just put the base commander on that ship and leave him in there. At least that's how I run the Eagle. All right, we're here. We are looking at I think it's a New York. So we're top tier in this match. I'm just throwing some torpedoes out to see what happens. Here's a Farragut coming in here, and another destroyer was visible for a moment or two. As you can see, we're just capping out the Bravo cap. That just sounds like a good idea. So that's what we're going to do. And we do cap out the Bravo cap, solo base cap. Important to remember, that is part of your job in this ship. Capture those cap circles. All right, so here I'm going to cut back this way, thinking about trying to go over and help my teammate, because I know there's only one blue team destroyer over in the Charlie cap. And so I think if I go over there, maybe I can help him out, because I'm a good teammate, unless I'm extremely frustrated with the play of the blue team, and then there's no promises. If you've been in a match with me and I seem very angry, I can guarantee you it's because I just had 2 or 3 matches with really crappy teammates, and their crappy play put me in a crappy mood. Anyway, looks like the New York here is still in our torpedo range. So we're going to give him 1. Are we going to give him 2? Yes, we're going to give him 2. Both sets of launchers. All right, the other destroyer over there is a Gaeta. And we only have 1 main battery reload booster in this build. My advice to anybody using a French destroyer with a main battery reload booster, right in the beginning of the match, go into the opponent's team listing or whatever, look at the opponent's team, see which destroyer you feel is the best gunboat, and if you encounter that gunboat at full health, that is who I would use the main battery reload booster on. Now, that being said, I don't think that occurs in this match, because things didn't go as planned, I guess, for myself or the enemy team. All right, so the Farragut popped up. We are going to shoot at him. As you can see, the Gepard has 5 guns. You do have to pretty much go flat broadside to get them all on target. So the other destroyer knocks out my propulsion. I, in turn, knock out the Farragut's propulsion. I'm continuing to shoot at him along with my teammates. Knock out his rudder or his propulsion again. And just continuing to shoot while I still can. As you can see, he's much closer to one of my teammates who charged at him and is eating torpedoes for his trouble. I probably should have come to a stop there so I could have kept on shooting. But at the end of the day, the New York on our team, who I think is that battleship right there, it is, floods out or burns down the Farragut. All right, Gate is still over here. Now, this would be a good ship to use that main battery reload booster on if I get him at close enough range to justify that. Since I don't think he is in close enough range to justify that, I'm going to lob some shells at him from way back over here and do a lot of shooting of the rock. He is backing up. Why, I'm not sure. That New York got sunk, by the way. Knock out the rudder of the Gata. We're starting to attract more fire. It's basically a 3-on-1 over here. So I decide discretion is the better part of valor. And I hit that speed boost. I think I shot before I activated it. So there you go. Cloaking device activated. And we are free to do whatever we want right now because they don't know where we are at. As you can see with this on, I think our detectability, I can barely read it. Maybe 4.6? Maybe? So it's a significant reduction in your detectability. Hawkins, definitely don't want to tangle with the Hawkins unless I'm at close range. So we torped out. Maybe one of those guys will get caught with these torpedoes. And we've got about 45 seconds left on our speed boost and our cloaking device. So as I go around the rock, I lob some shots at the Hawkins. Hopefully trying to set them on fire. Not successful. All right, so the red team basically cleared out the Charlie Cap side of the map. We do get one torpedo strike on the Hawkins. And he looks like he's hurting. Other ship over there is hurting. Don't know about the Gata at this point in the battle. I want to say, I think one of my teammates coming into the Bravo Cap. Gosh, I can barely see the minimap. All right, it looks like he's headed out of the Bravo Cap towards the Charlie Cap, actually. Now that I think about it, this seems rather aggressive to go against the enemy team. And you're in a Peter Veliky, you can't show your broadside. I just don't recommend doing that. You know, if you're in a Russian ship, you want to isolate one side of the map or the other. Now it could be one angle of the map or another, like the bottom half of the map or the top half of the map, left side, right side, etc. And you want to angle to protect your citadel and just punch people in the face with your Russian guns. But going in like that where you can get crossfired by enemy ships is not a recommended play, at least in my opinion. All right, we finally are spotted. The speed boost wore off. We will engage the Hawkins with high explosive, and we knock out a turret. And hoping to set him on fire. And we don't. All right. Well, that was not very fruitful. And we're just going to chill out, wait for him to come around the island. Maybe get some torpedoes out at him. As you can see, the Peter Veliky is being engaged by the Hawkins with torpedoes and other ships from behind me. He just ate a torpedo there. We knock out another Hawkins turret and switch armor piercing and hit the two hits to Citadel, and we finish off the Hawkins as the Peter Veliky gets killed. And I have no idea why I launched those torpedoes right then. I clearly could have used them against the Ismail. Maybe I thought the destroyer was over there, so that's why I launched them. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to drive past these torpedoes here. I'm looking at my reload, and I am trying to torpedo the Ismail. And I probably didn't aim those far back enough. There is the Gata again. So, as you can see, switching from armor piercing to HE, that's my bad. We will bow in a little bit. I think the Ismail just got finished off. So I'm just continuing to shoot. I am taking damage from elsewhere. If I was isolated against the Geta, I would have used the main battery reload booster. But clearly the islands, the other red team ships, conspired against me to prevent that encounter from happening. And someone has sonar on or radar. I think we just stepped out of range of that. So that's all well and good. We are going to head into the cap here and see if the other destroyer's in the cap. We have got a little less than half health. So if this is a full health destroyer, we may have to crank up the heat. And it is a full health destroyer. Full health Fubuki. So we crank that main battery reload booster on, and we will torp just for the heck of it. And as you can see, we are out of his torp angle. He is not out of mine. Is that kill number 2? All right. Geta over there, he is still shooting at us. I am content at this point with about a third of my hit points left to just kind of go dark and capture out this cap circle, although he does knock out my rudder briefly there. And I'm hoping to dictate the engagement with this Geta. I don't have the main battery reload booster anymore. It is possible I could lose a 1v1 gunfight with him, even though I think we're about at the same level of health. So to me, I want every chance I can get to get my torpedoes to reload. I want every chance I can get to be in the right position where I can go behind an island or a landmass if he pushes in through Bravo into Charlie. So that's why I'm moving the way I am right now. Plus, I want to get distance from that ship who's no longer a concern. All right. So I think at this point, we're about to capture this one out. And I think I'm going to hit my speed boost to go back into Bravo and engage the Geta from stealth. So I think you can see that this build is effective with a higher tier French destroyer. Again, we're getting a lot of our points from these solo base caps, but that's also kind of our job. You know, we did have a kind of 1v1 encounter with a destroyer, able to finish him off with torpedoes. Probably didn't need to use the main battery reload booster, could have saved it. Here is the Geta. He is all the way over on he gave up on, oh no, he capped it out. So he moved past and to engage this other destroyer. I think that was a bad move on his part. He quite possibly could have beaten me in a gunfight and then maybe got some torpedoes out and taken out the, I think it's a Mutsuki 1v1. I mean, maybe that was his intent when he went to engage him in the first place. Clearly, I think the Geta has the advantage over the Mutsuki and guns. But now he's placed himself in between the two blue team destroyers, and this just seems like a really, really bad idea. So we're going to light him up. As you can see, beautiful splash of HE on these French guns. I don't know what was wrong with my aim there, but he should be dead, and he burns down from my teammate. All right, so here we are on the victory screen. A lot of progress things, and we did end up with 2790 base XP and 2 big kills. All right, I think I'm going to immediately roll into another match with this ship, and it will be a match down tier. So blah blah blah. Anyway, that was the match. It was a good match for us. We were clearly better or did more to help our team than anyone else on our team. The you know, we had a good game. All right, so if you wanted to see how this build performs when it is down tier, this is what you really came for. This was quite illustrative to me, and it made me think, and I'll hate to say it, that the cloaking device build is not a good choice at tiers 5, 6, and 7 for the tech tree ships. Now, maybe the jury is still out on Le Fantasque. Maybe when I take out Le Fantasque with this build, I'll have a great game. But I can tell you that this match is going to be a great example, an estuary, of why you can't run this build. And it has to do with the legendary skill. Now, you know the legendary skill, we're using the winged foot, whatever it is, that gives you an extra speed boost, also increases your speed when you're near the enemy. And that's why I don't think this is a valid build here. Simply because you give up Unstoppable to do that. There is too much radar, too much sonar, too much HE spam going on at tiers 6 and 7 for this build to be viable, in my opinion. Okay? And this is the match that made me conclude that. So we're rolling out here, and we're just headed to A, just trying to spot ships in A in the Gepard. As you can see, we have the same build going on. We got 1 main battery reload booster. We've got 3 speed boosts. We're going to get that 10% decrease in detectability when the speed boost is on. And we're going to come out here and start spotting the enemy ships. And at this point, my only goal is to capture this base and spot the enemy to see where they are at. So while we're waiting for some of that to happen, I know what you're going to ask me. And what you're going to ask me is, if this cloaking device build isn't viable at the upper tiers, what build is viable? And the simple answer to that is any build that uses Go All Out combined with Unstoppable. So for me, that's using the other destroyer commander, Louis Violette, and choosing Go All Out in the second row. The Go All Out is a unique skill. It is only available on these 2 French destroyer commanders. It's also available on Sergio Splendento, which is kind of shocking to me when I saw it. I don't think it is available on anyone else. It may be one other commander I can't think of at the moment. And I don't have any Arpeggio or any Azer Lane commanders, so it may be on one of those. I just don't know. All right. So if you're wondering what commander build to use, I would do your standard range survivability build on Violette with Unstoppable as your legendary skill. And instead of Look at Me Now, choose Go All Out in the second row. You'll still get that huge reduction in your surface detectability when the speed boost is active, but you won't get the same speed additions to the destroyer that you get using a Bueno and a Bueno's legendary skill, the one other than Unstoppable. All right, so we're moving over here. Again, I am just trying to spot the enemy ships here. We had some good luck earlier dodging torpedoes. Here's some really good luck, maybe waiting until the very last second to dodge it. And here is a tier 6 Akatsuki. Now, this is not a gunboat, folks. It is not. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. So I'm just lighting him up with my regular guns. I am not using that main battery reload booster. And we don't have any problem hitting him. We really don't. Now, the reload isn't that great because of our row 1 skill choice with the Bueno, but it is enough to take out the Akatsuki. We dodged his torpedoes, and there's a Helena over here, and the Helena is going to give me a bad time right there. Knocks out my rudder, dead in the water. This is the moment where I knew this build couldn't work at this tier, because the Helena knocked out my rudder when my rudder was facing 180 degrees away from that ship. So we're taking damage here. Maybe I should have loaded armor piercing, hit that main battery reload booster, and I think I'm going to do that right now. But I didn't have my turrets lined up. We're just taking a ton of damage, and the video is about to end. I hope you liked it, but I don't think this cloaking device build is viable at the upper tiers. Thanks for watching.